relate in so many ways. I remember, because there was infidelity on my part toward the end of my marriage. And I remember shortly before that, I was counseling this young lady. She was married, and she was in a homosexual relationship while she was married, and she was really in love with this other woman. She was really being abused by her husband. She was in a very abusive relationship. She was a woman of God. She was a preacher, and she really felt bad about this homosexual adultery that was going on in her life. And I remember telling her, well, you gotta stop communicating with the lady. I said, just cut her off. Because they were talking on the phone and hanging out. You know, and I'm counseling with her, and she's telling me what she's doing. And I was so, because this time, you know, I've been married, I think, for 9 years. You know, I'm all over the world, all over the U.S. preaching. My book is all over the world. I got perfect kids, perfect marriage, you know, and I'm just like all of that in a bag of chips with sauce and dip. And so, you know, I'm ministering to her, and she's telling me that they're spending time together doing this and that. And I said, hey, you just got to cut her off. Stop talking to her. She's like, I can't stop talking to her. I said, you have to. You have to break it. And she said, I can't, you know, and she's crying. And I said, well, you know what? You just love your sin. There's nothing I can do to help you. And I said, you're going to go through hell until you do it. And I can't help you. And I said, I don't want to counsel you anymore. And I just completely cut her off. And I'll never forget. I mean, I don't think it was more than 6 months later. I had no compassion, no love. I don't think it was more than 6 months later that this man came into my life. And I can remember somebody telling me, just stop talking to him. Don't call him anymore. And I was like, I can't stop talking to him. And I was crying, and immediately, just like you said, immediately God was like, remember that young lady you spoke to that you damned to hell? Remember? And it was like, I love her just like I love you. Now you're going to know what love really feels like. And I could almost cry talking about it, because, you know, in our failures, RB, I find that when we fall away, and I think this is something that people really deal with when they're transitioning from that life, whether it be adultery or porn or homosexuality or whatever it be, when they're transitioning, the failures make people feel so unworthy and so dirty. And it's like, well, I said I was never going to do this. Because, you know, you got to remember, this was after I was preaching, after I was already Dr. Intimacy, after I supposedly knew better. You know, it's like, well, I would never go back to those things. The failures make you feel so bad that sometimes we miss the point of those failures, which is to get introduced to the unconditional, unbreakable love of God. And I want everybody to know that listening right now, His love is unbreakable.
Oh, yes.
It's His calling on your life. As long as you don't walk away from Him, He's never going to walk away from you. And you know, it's so powerful that you talk about how your ministry took off after your marriage broke. Because it's in that brokenness, the Bible says that He resists the proud, but He exalts the humble. And before you were divorced, you were proud, because it's like, oh, look, I came from the strip club and I'm in the pulpit now, and look at me and listen to me. And you know, I was that same way. And then He broke us. He let life break us. And He's like, oh, really? Really? Well, watch what happens when I take my grace off. Watch this. You know?